I said I like my money pure. I like my money pure. Okay, I like my money pure. I said I like my money pure. Oh no, I like my money pure. The bag is secure. Yeah, I like my money pure. I like my money pure.
What's happening, good people? I think I need to turn my camera on. There we go. What's going on with you good folks? I hope that everybody is having another sense podcast here practice. Practice over here. I guess I didn't do something right. We're on another segment of your Dollars to Cents podcast, guys, and we're going to talk that the presidential election will be having on government contracting and how you towards it here in the future. Definitely, for the next 4 years. That's the purpose behind this thing. So if you've ever been interested on, how spending happens and strategies for government contracting, well, today's one of the days that you want to go ahead and tune in. Hopefully I can share some information with you guys here today that's going to be life-changing for each one of you guys. And it doesn't matter who's the president, whether it's Donnie or VP Kamala. Man, you know what? I got to watch when I'm saying these names. I don't think that they want us saying the names on social media right now during election time. So I got to be mindful of that when I move forward. So if it sounds chopping up, maybe I keep hitting my wire. Now, moving forward, guys, so if you hear me say some names and it ain't president or something of that nature, it's just because I'm nervous of saying their correct names on social media during these times. I was even nervous with the picture of the thumbnail. AI has been creating the thumbnails here lately, and it wouldn't create the thumbnail because it told me that it goes against their rules to work on election stuff. Pretty crazy. Anyways, make sure that you guys are hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Share this out with 3 other entrepreneurs and business owners so they can get a little bit more information and knowledge when it comes to government contracting. Now, whether you're already in the game of government contracting or you're looking to get into government contracting, this election could be a big game changer for you and your business if you allow it to be. I guess I need to add my camera back on that one too. Hold on. So if you allow this to be a game changer for you, it can be. And hopefully the information that I share with you guys tonight can just allow you to think a little bit differently. Now, I do want to be mindful when I'm talking government contracting tonight. If you're looking for a quick win, this is not going to be the type strategy that I'm talking about here tonight. Tonight, we're going to really be talking about how do you dive in and come up with a strategy that's going to allow you to propel yourself and generate wealth, not just for you, but for your entire family if you allow it to be. That's the type of stuff that we're going to be going over here tonight. So again, if you're an individual that's looking for a quick win, I'm telling you right now, the information that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is not going to accomplish that for you, not even remotely accomplish that for you, but it will align you or put you in position to change your entire life. Now, if you don't have the patience to read, I'm telling you again, this isn't going to be the show for you tonight. It may confuse you and make you a little bit more frustrated. But those of you who do love to read, it's going to be a bunch of value. Don't forget, hit that like button, that subscribe button, share this out. We're here each and every week, Tuesday through Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time zone. On Tuesdays, we go over the mindset and business. On Wednesdays, we go over government contracting. And on Thursdays, we go over some systems and tools that can help take your small business to levels that you hopefully never imagine yourself being. And trust me, we got the operations that can help you out there. But I'm about to get ready to dive into some of this stuff. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you guys to show you some of the sites that I'm going to be going over for you to do your research. If you have any questions about anything that I go over, just feel free to put the questions down there in the chat, and I will be able to answer those for you. Now, before we start diving in to those sites, I want to make sure that I remind you guys to visit travisknows.com. I'll make sure I put that here in the chat for you guys as well, but visit travisknows.com and you'll be able to stay updated with all of our information. We have the Middleman's Club for you. One of our tools, SB Money Flow, is available here. Most importantly, our community is located right here where you can access it completely for free and get yourself around like-minded individuals. If you need consultation calls or you need funding, access to QuickBooks to keep yourself organized in your finances, all of this stuff is right here. And the last one at the bottom is my reading list. You can actually check out the books that have helped educate me, and they can help educate you and get you to where I'm at as well. So once again, Travis Knows, that's KNOWS.com. Make sure you click there and join our community here. All right, let's get back over here to what we're here for tonight. You know what? I almost forgot something. Make sure that you put that I am a millionaire down there in the chat, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. Remember, this is for you to start to believe when you come back here a year later and you see that you put that I am a millionaire in there. Well, it's going to take your confidence to a whole nother level. But trust me, all of the stuff, including what I shared tonight, if you don't believe that you can do it, well, I'm telling you right now, it's never, ever going to happen for you. And last but not least, make sure that you're taking the opportunity to network. Put in the comments where you're tuning in from, whether you're watching live or on replay. You never know who could be around to change your life. And especially when I show you this stuff today, you're really going to understand why I tell you guys to network all the time. Why? Like, I harp on networking, because you're not going to be able to do this stuff by yourself. That's why I told you, if you're looking for a quick win, like how these people be preaching to you about government contracting, that you can just make millions like that. If you think that I'm about to teach you some of that tonight, this ain't the call to be on. But if you think and believe that you can make yourself $20, $30, $40 million in the next 2 to 3 years, you probably want to be listening and tuning in today. But you're going to have to take action. I'm telling you that right now. If you don't take the action, well, guess what? I know for a fact none of this stuff works. But if you follow my directions, it's going to help you out here. Now, when we start talking about the presidential election, of course, we have a Democratic Party and we have a Republican Party. But when we look at government, the parties control a lot. So there's 3 levels to it. You have your president, okay, but then you have your Senate and you have your House of Representatives. Well, this has a huge impact on the budget. The budget that the president signs when they come in there and they spend over $4 trillion a year, well, he signs off on what the House of Representatives approved and the Senate approved. So it can't even get to him until it goes through them. So it's a lot of players to this, but the overall budget is kind of supposedly thought of over the president. But what really happens is a bunch of cabinet members. They propose what their budget to their agency is that they're over, and then the president signs off on it. Now, what you'll realize is every president is running on something, right? So is it infrastructure that they're talking about? Is it cybersecurity? Is it the border? Like, what are these things that they're harping on that they're going to change? Because all of that stuff costs money. And what you also must understand, I mean, we could just take Donnie, for instance. He ain't the smartest in the bunch. So if you're talking about protecting a border and building something to protect it, he don't know how to build nothing. So it's who's going to build it becomes the question, right? So if we stay ahead of it, we will understand that there's somebody at the top of border protection that says, hey, this is how I envision the border to be protected. And if they have no vision, well, you got an opportunity to jump in front of them and say, hey, well, these are some ideas that we can produce to give you that border protection. We flip it on the other side and you got the VP. Well, maybe she wants to dive deeper into cybersecurity, right? So maybe we should start paying attention to what are the cybersecurity requirements out there? What are the latest cybersecurity certifications? What are the top jobs in cybersecurity? Like, who's getting hit the hardest? And we need to focus on that because, again, we need to be able to present ourselves to whoever's in charge. And it's not the president. And I'm going to show you all of this stuff here today so you can get a better understanding. Now, another key component to this, when you pay attention and you get all of this information I'm going to share with you guys tonight, is outside of business, you can also learn how to invest your money. All these people on the internet telling you about investments. Well, I'm telling you right now, you pay attention to the companies who are going to win $600-700 million, $3 billion in government contract. Don't you think that their profit margins are going to go up? So when they go present to the investors during their investors call, they now have new profits that we should dump money into. You could be ahead of the game just by following the data in the money. And I'm going to teach you how to do all of this. I'm going to nerd out a little bit here tonight too. So I'm telling y'all right now, if you ain't ready to nerd out, again, this won't be the call for you because we're really just going to be diving into a whole bunch of data because I can't get you to where I need you to be without seeing this data. All right. Now, I have a secret for upgrading your knowledge quickly here. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong page here. Scroll down to my other information. That was yesterday's right there. Now, as we're sitting here talking about the budget and government contracting, I got a tip for you. If you're in government contracting, understanding where each candidate stands on their issues, it can help position your business to become a multimillionaire in 2 to 3 years. If you just focus that way. So where do we go to find this information at? Let's start to dive into this thing. Don't forget, if you guys got questions about anything, feel free to put the question in the chat. Now, the first thing here is we got to go to the White House. Whitehouse.gov. Somebody type whitehouse.gov if you are with me so far there in the chat so I can understand if you stand where I'm at. Now, here's one of the beauties about whitehouse.gov. Of course, you see that President Biden is up here right now because he's still our president. Even when I hear people talk about, the VP, they've called it her administration and stuff. No, it's not the VP's administration that's going on right now. It's still the Biden administration, and he's controlling the thing. But you can see right here all types of articles and issues that is the president's problem. And if it's the president's problem, well, the only real way to solve it is with some contracts. I can tell you, I don't know, these 4 people up here may be foreign individuals. Yes, they are. I was about to say, I could tell you right now in this picture, if they was all U.S. government personnel, I'm letting you know they don't know what they're doing when it comes to solving a problem like Biden approves nearly $2 billion for hurricane response. They don't know how to fix a hurricane response. They're relying on us to figure it out. They're just saying, hey, look, based off previous data for disasters, this was our cost previously from other contractors. If I add in inflation, because the price don't never, here's the kicker. Whatever the price was last year, it's impossible that it could be the price the following year. Price only goes up. It never goes down. So they have to calculate all of that stuff in, and they say, okay, well, on average, it's going to cost us $2 billion. Well, if you start to read into this more, they'll tell you where the $2 billion is moving. And that's the only way that you're going to access the money. You got to learn how it's moving, where it's moving to, and most importantly, who's over the money. Because if we don't know who's over the money, I mean, it's a lost cause. Like, they don't have to do business with you because you just showed up. This is why I'm trying to inform you guys to make sure that you're paying attention to everything that's going on around you. Trust me, it ain't just a presidential budget. It's layers to this. It's levels to this. All right. So whitehouse.gov, again, it will be a key place for you guys to remember, where to go get data from. My bad. Let me see if I can pull up this other site right here. I forgot about it. This one. All right. We'll just move on because I see it ain't working for me how I want it to work for me. All right. So anyways, whitehouse.gov. As soon as the president is elected, I need you guys to make sure you go to whitehouse.gov and start paying attention to it every day, because there's going to be new information that drops right here every single day. All right. The next site that I want you guys to pay attention to. This is the Federal Register. So it's federalregister.gov. I guess I could put this in the chat for you guys a little bit harder, a little bit longer. So I'll drop this in the chat. The Federal Register, okay, is actually where the government goes in journals. You can also not just see like the journal of the federal government, but you can also see the presidential executive orders. So executive orders are potential contracts too, right? Again, the order is solving a problem, and in order to solve that problem, it's going to cost some money, right? So we want to make sure that we're paying attention to what are going to be some executive orders that whichever president, I'm not here to argue about which president should be who and what and blah, blah, blah. I don't care, because we're in business. And the whole purpose of me sharing this information with you guys is so whichever president is elected, you can be ready to pivot and get your company focused in that direction, because I'm telling you, it's going to change your life if you allow it. If you don't allow it, well, I mean, I can't really argue with you too much there. So what we'll do, you can come right here on your right-hand side. You'll see presidential documents. Again, you're usually going to find your executive orders right here. You can come down here and look at some popular things that are going on. So it's not just the president, because remember, the president has the overall budget, but once he signs the budget, it gets dispersed through the agencies. And there's another, matter of fact, is it on this one? I have it here. Maybe I got it on another one of my links. I was going to show you the layers of all of this. But anyways, here you can see that there's other issues that are going on. And I promise, well, everything's not a contract. So you do got to be mindful of that. But you can start to read through here. And, if you're in data and technology, well, we got HHS that's over here saying patient engagement, information sharing, and public health. I don't even know what that means, but I'm pretty sure somebody who's in here knows what that means. But it says it seeks to advance. Again, I don't know what that is, but I know they're seeking for more information. This is where you got to start being smarter, right? So now I can get an understanding, like if I'm in this lane, if this is my industry right here, I'm saying, okay, well, HHS has this problem. Well, how can I get in front of the individuals who are over top of this stuff? Because the odds of them just picking up the phone that I call is going to be slim to none. The odds of them just answering an email because I read this is probably going to be slim to none. But what I can do is go to the HHS small business department. And now I can talk to the small business liaison about information that I seek. I seek that I want to get in front of the individual who are the stakeholders of this information that they're talking about right here. And I'm showing them, they wrote it. They're going to know exactly what's being talked about at the small business agency of HHS. Well, now we have purpose in our conversation. They can help guide and direct me. They have all of the network. They can pick up the phone and make things happen. Maybe I don't even have to get a proposal submitted because I got in front of it ahead of time because I read this article right here that they wrote, and I proved to the stakeholders that we could solve the problem. And not did I just prove to the stakeholders that we could solve the problem, I also showed them a way that they can directly award it to me. And we don't even have to do the whole competition thing. And I worked all of this up front before it hit the streets. It's perfectly legal. This is just saying, hey, we're putting information out here. Like, is somebody willing to read this and solve our problems? Most people aren't. I'm telling you, like 98% of the people aren't. This is how I've been able to get direct awards, because I got ahead of the game. Now, another lesson that you need to learn when the president is dispersing the money. You may see something like we're doing, and I'm just making numbers up when I say this stuff, guys. But you may see something that, we're doing $1 trillion for infrastructure. Well, you got to understand that the president, the White House, is not going to be in charge of infrastructure. You also got to understand the infrastructure for the United States is all 52 states or whatever. It's every state is involved with the $1 trillion infrastructure plan, right? So now you got to understand, well, probably here in the White House under the infrastructure, they'll teach you how to access the $1 trillion. Now, granted, because it's so large, most states are up to date on this information. But maybe there's something like, healthcare, IT, or, building affordable housing or something of that nature that's new. So you got the VP talking about affordable housing and things of that nature. This is going to be new money. She's probably going to put together a new program for this new money with a new name on it. And see, you guys come up with this perception that everybody just knows what happens next. Well, what ends up happening is they go, okay, we have all of this money set aside for the infrastructure for every state, but we got rules on how the state can access the money. So a lot of your states, they don't even know how to access the money because they didn't read. And then it may say something like, okay, this is how the state accesses the money, but every state has something called city and counties. And every city and county got their own infrastructure problem. So the state can't possibly manage every city and county. So the state created rules on how the city and county needs to access the money. But by you being educated, you can now go in front of your local government or your state government, educate them on some money for the federal government that they knew absolutely nothing about. And now you put yourself in prime position to have no competes because you're the only one who knows about the money. But the federal government can't just hand out money. I don't care if they set it aside like this. The way you read it, it sounds like they just gave the money to the state. But when you get deeper into it, you'll realize, well, there's rules that they have to apply for the money. They can't just get it. And if they don't apply for the money that they set aside the $501 billion for, well, it just goes back into the kitty pot. And then the next year, they don't get the money. It goes to another project. So again, this is why you need to stay in your niche, your lane, stay up to date with this information, because you could put yourself in prime position that you ain't got to compete with nobody. So remember, that is the Federal Register. All of these sites that I'm going to be sharing with you all tonight are .gov websites, not .com. You should not be at a .com. If you go to a .com, they're probably going to try to sell you something, and that's not where I want you to be. All right, the next site that we got right here, we got to the journal. Which one was this? This is OMB. All right, this is the Office of the Management and Budget. So now we can really see the money. This will show us where it's all being allocated to. It will show us procurement priorities set by the administration. So again, we want to check this too. when a new president comes in. You'll see a tab located right here, President's Budget. Well, once you get into here, you can start to see, okay, well, what's the fact sheet for the president's budget in fiscal year 2025? It starts to share with you which way the money is going. And guys, here's the kicker. Matter of fact, while we're here, all right, so you can read through this. It'll tell you the programs, right? So we're trying to cut taxes for families, children, and American workers. Well, maybe I picked a bad one right there, cut taxes, but there's somebody's making money off them cutting taxes. Well, let's look at lower child care costs. What are they going to do? The president committed, they're probably going to give them tax credit with incomes up to $20,000 per year. So matter of fact, let me share this with you. So it says his budget creates a historic new program under which working families with incomes up to $200,000 per year will be guaranteed affordable, high quality child care. Now, the average individual is paying attention to like taxes and how much they would get back or whatnot. I need your entrepreneurial skills to kick in. I need your business ownership skills to kick in. You need to be able to read this and say, his budget creates a historic new program under which working families with incomes up to $200,000 per year. This trigger should go off and go, well, how are they going to monitor all of this? There's got to be some type of system that gets put in place. So do you develop systems and workflows and automations and things of that nature? Because something's got to come here to validate that the right people are getting the right money. Somebody's got to cut the checks. Like the government ain't in the business of checking everybody's address and making sure that ain't what they in the business of doing. They spend the money. They don't make sure that they track it and things like that. That's what they hire a contractor for. So you got to be able to read this stuff and go, oh, well, wait a minute, $8.5 billion? Like, it's got to be an opportunity for me and my business, because this is what we do. We know how to organize things. We know how to track things. All right, what else do we have? Increasing affordable housing supply and reduce housing costs. If you're a developer, right, you need to be reading this. What it says, the budget expands existing low-income housing tax credits, which we're not worried about. Well, I guess if you were building... Let me keep reading. And the purpose of the new neighborhood homes tax credit is to further address the critical shortage. All right. So we need to be paying attention to the neighborhood homes tax credit. You could become a developer and you could get the benefits of the government for becoming a developer. But guess what? You can't be a luxury developer. I mean, you can be, but you ain't going to get no assistance from the government. The government ain't going to help you out at all. They're telling you we have a problem that we need affordable housing. If you are the business owner who knows how to develop, because we don't know how to do the damn thing as the government. If you know how to do it, well, we got some programs set aside for you. I'm pretty sure a majority of the developers have never looked at this. They're still over there trying to get your money to develop. These are little things that I'm telling you, majority of America doesn't pay attention to. They just complain and say things ain't fair. But what happens, there's a very select few individuals who are willing to read this information. And then they say, okay, well, I could start a business from scratch right now today, or I could partner with my network that I know already knows how to develop, but I happen to read how to get some development money. Budget provides $20 billion in mandatory funding for new innovation fund for housing expansion. They just said we're demanding that we spend $20 billion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're telling you we're spending $20 billion, but you got to now go read about the innovation fund for housing expansion. You can't just read this right here. You got to go do a little bit more work. The budget invests $1.3 billion into the home investment partnership to construct and rehabilitate affordable rental housing and provide home ownership opportunities. Now, next time you guys talk to a developer who's trying to sell you a course and get you to start your development company, but you need to pay for their programs, I want you to ask them about these programs right here. And don't let them just shoot the breeze with you and maybe they heard about it and they tell you, oh yeah, there's a lot of money sitting aside for that. No, ask them, are they involved in it? Because this is going to change the whole game. Because the real developers, they know everything about what I'm talking about. Because they don't want to use their own money. And they're always looking for money to get these big jobs done. This is how they use the government's money to get the big jobs done, and they get paid in profit because they see a resource that's sitting right here beside them. The other thing that you can look for while you're here, once again, this is whitehouse.gov/OMB, Office of Management. Look, I be forgetting all the names of, what is it? Office of Management and Budget. I was thinking of OPM. That's what was throwing me off. Office of Personnel Management. There's just a lot of acronyms with the government. But anyways, whitehouse.gov/OMB. The other thing that you're going to look at while you're right here, if I go to administration, right? So now, when the new president comes on board, if it's the VP, chances are she's going to keep some of these people. Probably not all of them, because this ain't her administration. If Donnie comes on, all these people getting fired. Every single one of them. But here's how it works. Okay, so right now we're looking at the cabinet for the Biden administration. Now, as you can see, these are all of the cabinet members. Now, I don't want to say that, the cabinet members are over top of every agency. So when we talk about government contracting, you got to break it down into agencies. So you get the president's overall budget, and then that overall budget, like a quarter of it goes to state and local, and don't quote me on the exact percentage, but amount goes to state and local government contracting, and the money that stays in the federal government goes to each agency. Now it's their job to administer everything that goes on with that budget. So they got the same way the president got these cabinet members under them. Well, Dr. Miguel has a whole team under him that's paying attention to the secretary. Well, he's the Secretary of Education, right? So under the Department of Education, they have a budget. He's the head of that budget for Department of Education, and it trickles down just like the president thing trickles down. So whatever your niche of business is that you want to do, you should probably see who's over top of it. You should probably go research and see their thoughts and their views, how they operate, how they know and have been doing business previously. Because chances are you may find an AKA sorority sister sitting right here, fraternity member. You may have a golf pal that knows somebody that's sitting on the cabinet. You may have ran into Isabel Guzman before she became the head of the SBA. She was just on the streets available for everybody. You may have already had the relationship with her if you was out there shaking hands and kissing babies. And now they're in the head honcho position. So we want to make sure that we pay close attention to the administration that comes on board. Okay. The other thing that we can look right here, you got your new offices, the executive offices that the president creates, right? So you can see that Biden created these offices right here. I'll tell you too, if Donnie comes, he may destroy these. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand. Look, every president has an opportunity to destroy some things, keep some things. That's the whole purpose of you becoming there. But trust me, there's checks and balances in place. That's why when people be doing all this scare tactic stuff, the government has a bunch of checks and balances. A president doesn't have as much power as individuals say. Now, what I will state, if you put the right people in place, you could have a lot of power. But the odds of you getting, the House, the Senate, and the president all on the same is going to be slim to none. I haven't seen it happen too often. Maybe the Bush administration was like that. I got to think back. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter to me. We're going to do these government contracts. All right. Now, the next site that we're going to get here, all right, is we are going to look at GAO. All right. Now, with GAO, it'll provide you with reports. And this is recommendations as well on how the federal government should be spending the money and the effectiveness of the programs that they've spent the money on. So, this plays, again, a major part to it. You definitely want to pay attention to the reports of your niche. You do not need to sit here and just read reports just to read reports, all right? But you got to get through a habit of finding things for you. I'm letting y'all know now, these government sites, they're not like Google. They're not going to be easy for you to just go through and find things. But I will tell you, if you start to make it a habit to check things like once a week, and there's a bunch of sites, but if you start to make it a habit to check things once a week, you can kind of keep yourself updated with information. And if you know what you want to do, if you're not chasing contracts, all right, like if you know your niche industry, it makes it so much more easier. But that whole middleman thing, which I'm not knocking, I mean, that's how I got rolling and putting money in my pocket with the middleman thing. But IT was always my niche industry, so I was able to niche out while I was selling products. And it just so happened the products that I was selling was also IT products. So it kind of worked hand in hand. But anyways, you can come right here. And again, maybe, energy is your thing. So you can start to come click here and see what type of reports are going on about energy. Once again, I know I'm talking about government contracting, but you can start to read this stuff. And guys, I mean, look, if we're talking like $600 million to a company, this is who you invest with. Now, I'm not reading the article to make sure it's $600 million to one company. But if you start reading this type of money, $74 billion is allocated. Like, who's going to get the money? Because that's who you invest your money with. That's who you put your self-directed Roth IRA money towards. This is who you go back and you talk about trading options and all of that good stuff. Now when they talk about dips and all of that, look, they can keep drawing them charts and all that stuff that they be doing. I don't really listen to that. You know what I'm saying? I just look at what's right in front of my face. They don't hide it from you. It's all right here. I can just click on it. And I mean, all the information is sitting in front of your face. They break it down. Again, it's who's going to be the individual that's willing to go do the research. You'll change your life. You can also find bid protests here. So if you don't know what protests are, maybe, you need to go back and learn some more about government contracting. But just because you want a contract don't mean that it's clear. You got to make sure that I think you may got 3 days after award to put in a protest. Don't quote me on that. But you could protest the awarding of a contract if you think it wasn't fair. There's a whole thing right here, but you could actually read up on previous protests and, see what's going on. Protests happen every day. I'm saying? You can see the agency's reports. So again, if you're in like housing, well, maybe you should go to the housing report. If you're working with the prisons, maybe you should start looking at the reports that come out with the prisons, see what's going on. And you can follow your money, guys. I'm trying, researching has made me so much money that I really truly believe it's extremely lazy of individuals not to take their time and research. Is it boring? Absolutely. Is it time consuming? You bet it. Is it tedious and annoying? As hell. But will it change your life? I'm willing to make a sacrifice and deal with all that stuff that I just said to sit down here and read some words that are put on paper so I can construct the team and network that I need to resolve $100 million problem. I'm not greedy and thinking Travis is going to get all $100 million. I don't have the infrastructure for $100 million. I be seeing these people on the internet too talking about they winning $100 million in government contract. I'm telling you right now, maybe you need to come take a field trip with me here in Washington, D.C., and I'll show you some of the companies I consult to and some of my what are now friends. I'll show you some of their companies, and I'll show you what $100 million company's infrastructure look like. Because you can't do $100 million contract without the infrastructure, right? So now you could say, okay, well, I can get $100 million team put together, and my team has all the infrastructures, and out of that, I get $6 million from it, something like that, which will hopefully allow me to reinvest back in my business. I don't go party and blow all the money, but I reinvest back in my business. So eventually I can take the front seat of $100 million operation. These are how things operate. So again, that is GAO. You can go there, run a whole lot of reports to find out where the money's going. All right, the next one that I want to share with you guys, again, all of this is really about money. It's just showing you different levels because once you start tracking your money, you got to go through all these levels. All right, so the next one is the Congressional Budget Office, cbo.gov. Okay, this analyzes budget proposals and provides detailed reports on the economic and the fiscal impacts for any new policies that are out there with the government. So, again, it's more so following the money, seeing what they're spending money in, knowing how policies are going to change. You can look at the cost estimate of what the government is thinking about things. So you can come up here, click on cost estimates. And again, you could look at stuff. So so the Vet Safe Travel Act, right? I'm pretty sure this is going to be talking about like TSA. This is just me knowing government and reading data all the time. Like, I know Safe Travels Act ain't talking about a vet driving in a car. Like that ain't what they talking about. We got to be talking about flying in the air. Like, that's the only thing that we can say safe travels, because you need passports and all of that stuff. So let me see. I click on here. I can see in 2025 that they're trying to the outlays. They got 4. There's no mandate for this that's going to happen. They want to waive the fee of severely disabled veterans as defined in the bill who wish to enroll in pre-check. All right, so they're talking about pre-check. Now they say about 20 million or 7% of the adult population are enrolled in pre-check. The fee ranges from $78 to $85 for new enrollees and $69 to $78 for renewals. The amount covered the cost of the background check using blah, 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 blah. So the VA CBO estimates that 325,000 veterans would meet the qualifications to get a fee waiver. So now multiply 325,000 by $85, and you can see how much this bill is going to cost us, taxpayers. This is how they come up with the cost for things. This is how they spend your money. Now, these are the things that you need to be paying attention to, because you may say, hold on, well, wait a minute. Like, I don't think 325,000 veterans is flying around. Like, why are you guys just dumping all that type of money? And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just giving you things that you could start to cry about and complain about that make sense. And I'm not saying to cry about this makes sense. I'm saying when you see stuff on this site, well, now you got something to cry about and, go pout to people about. And you actually have stuff in front of you to go cry to them about. And you can say, well, wait a minute. I think that you guys aren't spending our money correctly. If you're talking about, I got to do this math. Let me tell you, 325,000 times, what was that, 85? So we're looking at a little over $27.5 million that this is going to cost the United States taxpayers in order to get the veterans free pre-check. How do you feel about that? I personally feel that they should get it. I mean, they go out there and fight war for us, stuff that I can't do. Now, let me show you guys another kicker. That wasn't the right one. Sorry. I I wanted to show you guys how they hide things from us all the time. Let me just click on one of these things. So this is talking about combating, firearms in the schools is going on or whatnot. Do you see how they put it in writing like this? Now, I know from years of getting trained that if you want to hide something from people, like you put it in this writing format because the eyes, I don't know what it is. The eyes don't like reading stuff like this. So what I want you to think about, and I got tons of books right here that's like this, but if you think about books, right, the words are bunched up like this and they're in this just straight paragraph format with no pictures or anything. The average eye, when it sees this, it tortures them and starts to think about when they was in grade school and they didn't want to read all of this information. And when you keep scrolling like this, it just keeps going and going and going. So you're immediately discouraged just when you see it. And when they start, if you scroll down here and you start seeing things like this, it starts making you nervous, right? You start thinking law and all of these things that you don't know anything about. When in all actuality, I'm trying to tell you, if you will just be the 1% of the individuals that read, I'm not even saying you got to comprehend it all the way, because 9 times out of 10, the person who wrote it didn't comprehend it all the way, right? So I just need you to read it and try to comprehend it to the best of your ability, and then you'll have something, you'll have substance to talk about next. When you start to go out into the streets and shake hands and kiss babies, you're going to have substance of a conversation instead of a pointless conversation of, Travis, how do I get started with government contracting? That's a pointless conversation to me because I got a whole YouTube video. But if you come to me, Travis, like, hey, look, I'm looking at this opportunity down here that I had seen about the safety and welfare of our kids in school, and we have an opportunity with the state government, and I read over here the law or bill that they wrote, and I wanted some more direction or know if you have a network that can help us out with a specific task. Well, now we have substance to talk about. I can dive deeper with you and I can enjoy the conversation because we're talking about things that matter. And this is going to be, it's not just me. This is everybody, the government, any other businesses that you out there working with or trying to work with, because all of us business owners, especially if we making millions, we're trying to make more millions. And we're not about to sacrifice our time all day to sit here and do the 101s with you. So you got to do some due diligence for yourself, right? So anyways, let me keep moving. That's GAO. The next one that you guys want to pay attention to, this is some of my favorite ones right here, is you're going to have the appropriations.house.gov. Again, this is for your House of Representatives. This is going to be, again, the budget when money comes through your House and your Senate. Well, this is where you can start to see that. You can also see any things that they're voting on and stuff like that. So you got this energy and water reduction right here. Again, if you're in the energy and water and things of that nature, well, you probably should be paying attention to what they're talking about right here. Now, here goes the kicker that I'm going to show you guys. And this is why I just laugh at a lot of stuff, because we think we're making change, but I personally don't see no change. And I'm not trying to argue or, create a war or something like that. That's not what I'm trying to say this about. What I'm trying to say is, we need to argue for better things. So why I'm saying that is because as I look right here for this House energy and water reductions and appropriations, right? Well, as I stated to you guys, the cabinet is in charge. The cabinet position is over top of every agency. That leader usually creates some committees under them to manage everything. So when I come up here and I look at subcommittees, what y'all see? I'm saying, I ain't trying to argue nothing and whatnot, but this is usually what it's going to look like. And now we're talking about the money. Because the lower we get down, see, we ain't at the top. The president has no clue what's going on in the subcommittee. They don't have time to deal with what a subcommittee's housing authority problem is. Do you really think the president is sitting there talking about somebody's personal housing authority problem? He wants, how much was the problem is what the president is talking about. I thought you were supposed to put that money in the budget so we could solve the problem. Why are you sitting at my desk talking to me about that? That's what the president's thinking. Don't I got somebody in charge? Wasn't you supposed to go through the chain of command before you bought this and presented this to me? Well, again, here's your chain of command. Now we start getting lower and lower and lower. And then trust me, once you get up under them, they got a committee under them too. But you got to know how all of these individuals are operating. Well, you don't have to, but if you want to create a lot of wealth for yourself, I would advise you to. You know, you get to choose and do whatever you want to do. Ain't nobody holding nothing to your head trying to make you do anything. But I'm trying to just warn you guys so you don't get upset. I'm not saying that these are bad individuals. I don't know everybody like that, but you know, you could come across an individual that isn't of your favor. Right? Now, that was for the House, appropriations.house.gov. The next one we're going to be looking at appropriations.senate.gov. Exact same thing. The same way I told you we got these subcommittees. Well, the Senate, there's people over top of things. And then what do they got? Subcommittees. So we got to, if the House had a subcommittee for energy, well, the Senate got a subcommittee for energy. And what do you notice? They look the same. I just be trying to figure, like, how do you get change? And ain't nothing changing when it comes to the governing body of America. The face that they put in the media makes us think things are changing. But when I look down in the inside and I look at the committees, I guess it ain't Breakfast Club approved. You know what I'm saying? The Breakfast Club don't know nothing about what I'm talking about. Half the people, not even half, majority of the people on the internet talking government contracting don't know what I'm talking about. They just go to sam.gov and apply for contracts. Again, I'm talking about building wealth. We always talk about generational wealth or whatnot. Well, here's the people that hold your generational wealth. These are the individuals that you're going to have to try to get through. If you want to make some long money. I'm talking about some of that NBA money, that NFL money. See, we often are amazed at professional athletes' paychecks, but we keep forgetting we could do better paychecks and we don't have to risk our bodies. Instead, we just got to go out here and network and understand how to read people's problems. Every single problem in America has an agency over it. Every agency has a subcommittee that look just like this. Look, I'm just clicking down this stuff. I'm not changing that. I'm just clicking down. Have y'all seen anything change yet? I haven't. Hey, it is what it is, right? All right. So, guys, those are the main sites that I wanted to share with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Do your homework. Do your research. This is how you're going to make tons of money. The minute that presidential election happens and we find out who wins, I'm telling you, it's pressure on the president for the first 90 days. You need to be, for the first 90 days, coming over here to whitehouse.gov and paying attention to what they're talking about every day. Look at it. There's a whole newsroom every day. I'm looking at it. I can come over here to my GAO and I can look at the watch blog so I can pay attention to where money's moving. Right? These are all things that you got to stay updated on. Nobody's going to do it for you. You come over here to the Federal Register and to the Journal and see what they're writing about. Pay attention to the presidential executive orders. Executive orders is money. The faster that you get ahead of this, the more you can make things happen. That you don't have to do bids. You don't have to scare yourself away from an opportunity. Instead, you just got to get in the right room and talk about what you know how to do. And if you don't know how to do it, if you just look at what your network knows how to do. So you could think right now, okay, Travis, like, look, man, I don't want to do no work, Travis, but I'm willing to sacrifice to figure out how I can find a project that will be large enough that I can bring other people on and I can still make a profit for myself. See, most times we try to bring other people on and we looking at a $10,000 project. No, go look at a $10 million project. And now it'll start to make sense. Now you saying I just need $250,000 and like I'm good for a year. Well, with a $10 million project, you getting $250,000 is pretty damn good. Things start to change when you go bigger. The opportunities that you dreamed about, it presents itself right in front of your face when you go bigger. And I'm telling you guys right now, usually the stuff that's written right here is for big opportunities. They're not talking about $25,000 books or tools or services. No, $25 million, $250 million, $74 billion. That's what they're talking about over here. And if that scares you, I'm telling you, you're just not ready. It's okay. It's okay to be scared. And it's okay to leave this stuff alone for a second and go win those smaller contracts. Put some money in your pocket, become a believer. And then once you realize, well, wait a minute, I just worked so hard for $30,000. Like, I remember this guy on the internet say that I could work just this hard and win $30 million because I put together the right team. Again, the right team can do the right work. Stop thinking about yourself and you will progress 10 times faster. Go out more often. Shake more hands and kiss more babies and your network will increase. And if you want to take yourself to the next level, we got SB Money Flow. SB Money Flow will be able to handle your entire business right here. Now, you guys can go to sbmoneyflow.com and get yourself registered. When I talk about all the education, well, when you get started with SB Money Flow, you need to go to the site called onlinegovcon.com, which will also happen to be where you can get into our community. But once you get there, you can click right up here in the right-hand corner and go to courses, and you'll have access to GovCon Cheat Code University. And I'm telling you guys right now, I've kind of answered every question that may present a hurdle to you along the way through some type of video right here. So what I remind everybody to do is get started. And when a hurdle presents yourself, just come right here to this back office. And chances are I have a video or training that will help you get over that specific hurdle so you can move forward faster. You do not need to know everything about government contracting. I'm telling you right now, I don't know everything about government contracting. And I've still made millions of dollars. I'm still learning each and every day about different business things and government contracting. This is a space that's moving all the time. And we got new president coming in. And this is guaranteed. A new president is coming in no matter who wins. Which means a lot of stuff will be changing because we have a new president. You have to stay ahead of that. We don't have to. But again, if you want to create that type of wealth, you should stay ahead of that. So go to sbmoneyflow.com, get signed up. You'll get access to that, but then you'll get access to our GovCon marketplace here. And in our GovCon marketplace, you can actually log in here and find those federal government contracts that are sitting here for you and speed up this process. So you can start reaching out to individuals and you can do some more research to find out who got your money. So you put your NAICS code up here and now it's telling you who's spending your money. So we can quickly go back over here to our research and say, okay, well, I need to go look at HHS And I need to understand all the players under HHS, all the committees and whatnot, and what problems they got going on, because they spent a lot of money in my industry. So if they spent a lot of money in my industry, chances are they got articles and stuff up there talking about my industry. It gets hard to me to do things when you don't invest in tools. You know, I just showed y'all them websites, so you could take your time and try to figure it out. Or you could just get tools that make you smarter faster. So now you can go back to those ancient tools that the government provides you, and you know how to directly search for things. That's the whole purpose of this. Now we could come over here, we could go to federal contracts, and we could federal opportunities, and we can actually look at live opportunities that are available for us. We can come over here, which I love right here, going to businesses, and now I can look for those potential partners that are in my own backyard. All I got to do is come right here, click on California, and then put my NAICS code right here. And now these are the companies in my own backyard. And if I'm looking at a $10 million project, because Travis told me don't go small, ain't no point of going small no more. Go bigger. You got the resource. Look. The same effort, energy, work it's going to take to do $30,000. I promise you it's the same for $30 million. It's just we got to stop talking to $30,000 people. We got to go talk to $30 million people because they've already done it. You don't have to convince them that there's an opportunity for $30 million. You don't have to convince them that they can do it. It's already been accomplished. They over here saying, hey, well, how do we get the $30 million? And that's where you come into play. So now I can look right here and say, okay, well, California, well, wait a minute, Travis. I ain't just anywhere in California. Like I'm over here in Los Angeles. So we just keep coming through this bad boy and we find Los Angeles. Well, I don't want to. I see I'm going back too far. All right, so let's say we in El Segundo or whatever. You know, again, I can look right here and say, well, wait a minute. This company doing $5 million. They doing $7 million, $6 million, $2 million, $8 million, and they all use my same NAICS code. But maybe I should try to team all these people up together so we could do a $100 million project. And I can click right here and go, well, wait a minute, let me look at more information. Well, I know their address, I know their phone number. Now I could put together a plan to start whining and dining, shaking hands and kissing babies with these individuals. I can go to their website and find out the key players, the decision makers of that company this fast. Like I should come up with a plan in the next hour and stop playing around. But when you just sit back and you pray to God that it's all just going to work out for you, I don't know how that worked. One thing that I read in that Bible, it said that you have to do something. I'm saying he ain't blessing you because you just sat right there. He's saying if you become a better person, how do you become a better person? You educate yourself through research and training and information. You raise your capacity, your mental capacity. That's how you become a better person, by learning more information. Now, how do you take yourself to the next level after you become? You have to do the information that you just learned, right? Because we're becoming better by thinking better. Now we got to prove that we can do it. And once you complete those two together, you have no choice but to have. But everybody just wants to have without doing anything. And the reason that they don't want to do anything is because they ain't became a better person yet. You can't keep doing $30,000 activities and expect $30 million. You have to level yourself up. And I know it's scary saying I can take myself to the next level because you haven't had the people around you to do it yet. Well, I'm trying to show you how to get the right people around you. Every single one of these, and I don't want to say every single one, majority of these individuals was at a point that you were at. I was at the point that you was at. No money, no network. I just didn't complain. I used my work money to create my business money, which created my freedom. I sacrificed my work money from partying, spending money in clothes and cars and alcohol. And instead I invested in tools. I invested in knowledge with books and courses and conferences. And before you know it, everything changed. And what I realized It's the real rich people, not the entertainers, because I don't really believe that they rich. They're praying that somebody, they got a financial management team or something that can handle their money to keep them afloat. That's why you see a lot of them get burnt. And not a fool can make money. I'm just letting you know. But a smart person got to keep it, right? So what I'm trying to educate you is to get smart. So when we do make all this money, you're going to keep all this money and not just blow it away. And once you make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of money to blow. I don't want to sit here and act like I don't spend crazy money on crazy things, okay? But my crazy things now is like tech and tools and real estate, and I still make transactions. It's just not at the strip club, and it's gambling and oh my God, sports betting. I still sports betting nowhere like I used to sports bet. I'm letting y'all know that right now. You got to switch things up. All right, guys. That's all I have for you all today. Hopefully you guys got some valuable information out of this. Put a fire emoji down there in the chat if you guys picked up anything valuable from today. That's the only way that I know that you picked up anything that we put down. Don't forget as well, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Continue to share this out with 3 other entrepreneurs and business owners that you know want to take themselves to the next level and start making millions of dollars. We are continuing to grow the channel, and it's only growing because of each and every one of you guys. Don't forget, if you want to find out more information and stay up to date with everything that we got going on, you can always visit travisknows.com and join our community as well while you are there. We're live on the Dollars to Cents podcast Tuesday through Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time zone. Remember, Tuesdays is the mindset and business. Wednesdays is government contracting. And on Thursdays, we talk about tools that can help set you free. On Mondays, we do have one of our special members, Courtney, that you will see. Oh, man, wait a minute. On Monday, you'll see Courtney here at 7 p.m. Eastern time zone. The kid just wanted another contract. You know what I'm saying? That's how we like that thing. Direct award. That's why I said, oh, man, I had to read that one. A direct award. You know what I'm saying? That's how we really like doing them out there. But anyways, hey, that messed my whole day up. I don't even know what I was saying no more. I don't even care what I was saying no more. I love you all. I hope that y'all have a blessed day. I got to go get my happy juice on. I'll talk with y'all later. I'll see you tomorrow. You know what happens when this goes, look, I can't even get my shit right. When the music goes off, this goes off. I'll holler at y'all.
Just different. Yeah, you already know what it is. Pure money, baby. I keep a couple in the bag, homie, I ain't gotta brag. Even when the hater try to doubt me, I just got another contract. Watch the dollars follow back. Let me tell you one thing about me. Said I like my money pure. I like my money pure. Okay, I like my money pure. I said I like my money pure. Oh no, I like my money pure. The bag is secure. Yeah, I like my money pure. I like my money pure. I like my money pure. Come and hang with the gang. Get some free game added to your mainframe. Gotta keep your mind sharp, we gotta maintain. And it's even better when the squad on the same thing. Steady swishing on the competition. We ain't tripping about the opposition. We on a mission and we got a vision. People in need, we believe we got it like I keep a couple in the bag, homie, I ain't gotta brag. Even when the hater try to doubt me, I just got another contract. Watch the dollars follow back. Let me tell you one thing about me. Said I like my money pure. I like my money pure. Okay, I like my money pure. Said I like my money pure. Oh no, I like my money pure. The bag is secure. Yeah, I like my money pure. I like my money pure. I like my money. Been slept on, money never stepped on. We increasing positivity until the stress gone. Satan tried to hold the squad back, but we kept on. We ain't making this up, no rev long. I I ain't trying to make you blush, but this a highlight. We send the high vibes, homie, this a high life. We rising far above the game, that's a flyby. But we still connected to the source, that's that Wi-Fi. Reception, now we answer the call. This squad taking questions and we answer them all. We don't wanna see you fall, we wanna see you ball. We all gon' eat with the peeps, we gon' feed them all. Couple in the bag, homie, I ain't gotta brag. Even when the hater try to doubt me, I just got another contract. Watch the dollars follow back. Let me tell you one thing about me. I said I like my money pure.